Due to explicit content and language, listeners' discretion is advised. Black in Thought.
All right. Let's get started. You may learn something.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Welcome to Black in Thought, where we take a look at current and cultural issues, applying that Afrocentric drip to them. Your hosts tonight are... We got the Professor, JB, D, and me, Ill Will. Dale's gonna be out for a little while. He's getting his Friday night lights going on, so my man's coaching, so he's gonna be out for a little while. I know you'll miss him, but we got to keep the show going. Tonight, we're gonna dig back into finding that life and work balance, and we're gonna also throw in a little bit of support. When your spouse offers support versus maybe an opinion, and talk about the difference on when you should offer you or your spouse should offer you support or an opinion about what you got going on, or things in your lives together and how to move forward with that. We talked about a lot of stuff last time with finding that balance when it comes to life and work, life with your relationships, and balance at work, so you don't wind up killing a motherfucker or something like that. 'Cause you know how you had those situations in those days where you be feeling like you got that one coworker or your boss that's getting on your last damn nerves, and then in your relationships, you got those moments where you're just trying to find that peace, to have some quiet time to yourself or some tranquility within your relationship, things like that. How to actually juggle family and then your work life and stuff like that. So we're gonna get right in on that and do what we do as always here at Black in Thought.
Well, I can tell you firsthand, I struggle with that right now. I know we have a lot of different things in our lives, speaking about my wife and I and our family, that we want to achieve. We're kind of playing makeup for some fumbles we had in the past. But right now, there's no balance. Plenty of work without no balance. And I'm trying to find a way, if possible, for myself where we can find some balance in addition to the work. So it's important. You got to spend time with your family. You got to mentor. You got kids. They got sports. And in this situation, sometimes I feel like I got to be up 24 hours a day. It's rough. And then I got other commitments. I got people who want me to commit to something, and being the man that we all are, when we make a commitment, we follow through. But with much pain and agony.
Yeah.
I have to go out of town in the morning. I have a relative who getting some services provided to restore his life, in a sense, and he asked me to come, and I committed to it, and it's the end of the week, and I had business to take care of, and all he remembered was my word, and I can't go back on it, no matter how tired or how short my weekend's going to be, all from my word. But back to the subject, it's hard for, especially, let's
No, you didn't got because you need to put that back into yourself as well.
That's true, but let's look at everything we have going on. On top of what's in the media, work-life balance is just another weight on your shoulder. It's just another thing. We all have careers that are very demanding. Can we all agree?
Yeah.
And we have families that love us. But in biblical terms and text, it is our responsibility to provide for provision. And there are times where we just have to be away for an extended period of time in order to achieve that. So, I'm confused about this. I want to ask D what he feels about it. I'm just confused about this. I need some help. So, D, what do you think?
On how to manage, Professor, say that again.
So, my role and my responsibility to my family, my obligation, I have to provide, be able to provide, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, my situation is a little unique because I had, during the recession, I pretty much lost everything that I had. I used to work for the auto industry, so now I'm kind of playing makeup. In addition to not only playing makeup, but trying to get back what we lost. In addition to trying to grow and a business and a job, it's just a lot. And I want to help to expedite that because we're not getting any younger, right? And there's things that we want, there's things that we desire. And I'm not getting any younger. My kids want a big backyard and they want those things that really they deserve. But I'm only home 5 hours a day and it's creating a problem in my life. How do I manage that without losing sight of the goal?
Yeah. So I've been there, and I agree that being home 5 hours a day, that's a problem. When you're home, you're sleeping. Mm-hmm. So you're really non-existent. I think we talked about this last episode is why are you doing what you're doing?
Yeah.
What is the goal? But at the same time, what are you sacrificing to get there? And is the sacrifice worth the goal?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
But now one thing is your family, they gotta be on board with it.
Yeah. When you talk about alignment.
Yeah.
And understanding that, having the same expectations. You know what I mean?
Because what you just told me, you lost everything. You don't want to go back there again. Nobody wants to go back there. But now you got somewhere you're trying to go. But do your family understand you got to go too? But at the same time, you don't want to neglect them. You got kids in sports and school, and you are a father and a husband. So they still need that time from you too. So that's a little tricky balance, man.
And I've had to deal with that myself. In two different ways. When I was younger, when I was first getting my bachelor's degree, I was working 2 jobs. Had a full-time job in the AM, and then I had a part-time job at night while also still going to school. Now, at that time, I was single, young, full of energy. It wasn't bothering me. I could do that, and I could manage. I didn't have anybody else that was looking for me to,
Right.
be able to provide, attention, basic life necessities and things like that. So, that part of my life was easy to be able to do that. But then, fast forward, several years, married, children, wife, full-time job yet again, but now I'm going back to school to get my master's degree. And it was like many conversations, with my wife to be like, hey, is this something, I can do without you guys feeling neglected? Is this something that I can do without, missing a step, being able to provide for, you all here? And, just after long discussions and, it takes a lot of understanding from your family. I'm not going to lie. There's going to be several moments where you're just really going to be too tired to do anything. Mm-hmm. And they have to understand as far as how you understand what the end game is. And if they can't see that, it's going to take a lot of conversations and, a lot of family meetings basically to, hey, look, this is where we're trying to go. And these are the tools that are going to help us get there. And they truly, if they see and they can appreciate the vision and the goal and want to get there as well, they'll completely understand. And also from that, they'll look up to you for living up to everything that you said that you were going to do and being able to provide. And then you will be basically, more than a role model in that instance. Yeah. Because, Pop said he was going to do this. He did that. We've been able to do this. We've been able to live this life. And it's just going to take a huge amount of conversation with your family, getting them to understand, hey, this is what's going to get us there.
And I feel like that's why it's important, you got to have a partnership with it. And, it can't be you running your own race and they running their own race. Mm-hmm. Y'all got to be running that race together.
Yep.
Because there's going to be times where you may fall, you need to get picked up, or they may fall, you got to pick them up. And as long as y'all understand what the goal line is and what the end game is, you're going to always have that support there. So I think that the partnership piece is huge.
And remember, they got to understand this too, Professor, is that this is just temporary.
Yep.
This is not a life's decision. You know, we're doing this for this amount of time, and put the start time, put the end time to it.
Temporary solution for a permanent problem.
That's it.
Yeah, you're right.
I've been there.
I remember there was a time where, like right now, there's no lack, with the exception of time. Then I remember where there was plenty of time, but there was plenty of lack. So, you know, it's just finding that balance to where being able to say, okay, just enough of this, just enough of that. So, I don't know, man. It's crazy. You know, these are the things that, you know, your grandparents, your uncles, your parents tell you. You know, hey, when you get older, you know, it's a different. You don't think about this. You don't think about the work-life balance, or you don't think about the support thing and the relationship thing and the, you know, all the other things that we deal with. It's so much we have to filter and digest. So much.
So you know who I think when we're doing this here, you know, with our kids versus our wives, I think our wives, in my situation, is the hardest ones to, I want to say,
Looks like we got a caller. Hello,
Okay.
caller, are you there?
Jessica.
Can you hear me?
To accept, press 1.
We
To send a
might be
voicemail,
having
press
technical
2.
difficulties.
Okay. I've sent the caller to voicemail. Goodbye.
Oh, we'll get it back. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So, you know, I think sometimes, you know, our kids, they got their friends, they got this here, so they're occupied. But, you know, when our spouse come with us, we are their number one. So they're used to our attention, used to our time. So even though we're working, we're providing for them, we're still not giving them that time. Even though, like you both said, you and JB, it's a partnership, and we agreed upon this. But when you're in the midst of that moment where they sitting there by themselves, they lonely, that's probably where it becomes a issue.
Yeah, but I think that it's much deeper than that. So there's an alignment, there's a partnership and an agreement. So for the provider, and this is the thing that I think that makes it even more difficult for me. At what point do you provide support? And then at what point do you provide an opinion? Because a lot of times, you know, when you're going hard in the paint for your family and you have this goal.
Oh, there it goes. Hello, caller, are you
Call
there?
from Jessica.
Hello,
To accept, press 1.
Huh?
To send a voicemail, press 2.
No, we're going to accept.
To accept.
She locked up.
Jessica, are you there? Hello?
I'm here.
All right. Welcome to the Black and Thought podcast. You're here with none other than the professor, JBD, and of course me, Ill Will. Today you called in on a good topic here. We've been talking about so far, you know, finding that balance between, you know, family life and work, and we've also kind of added the element of, you know, when it comes to your partner in that aspect, when to offer, you know, support versus an opinion. Haven't missed very much. We just started talking about it, but just say as a basic, what are your thoughts on that in itself?
So thoughts on like family life, or
yeah,
you started cutting up a little bit.
how to find that balance when it comes to, you know, life and then work for yourself.
So, you know, it all depends on how much of a commitment you have with your home life compared to your work life. So you could definitely work hard and be committed and dedicated to working hard, but you also have to remember, you know, those same values apply at home. So, you know, your job is mandatory, right? You go in, you make a living. The things at home sometimes take a back burner. So you actually, you know, to maintain that, you know, that balance between work life and family, you really have to dedicate time and effort on, you know, making your house a home. And that means physically, whether you're doing repairs, but more importantly, you know, making those people in your household just as important as the job you go to every day. You know, you have to take the time out, you know, and dedicate specific time for the people in your house. Because if you don't, they'll just become another part of your work world. They'll be more like coworkers than your family.
So Jess, how you doing today, by the way?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. So I have a question with that, and what you said, I feel that that's true. However, at what point do you support that? Meaning that sometimes when the balance is off and there's more work than life, at what point do you support that depending on the goal that you have set and the provisions that are required from the head of household? And then at what point do you offer an opinion in order to help them understand, hey, we're out of balance and we need to get things back balanced again? At what point? How do you handle that? How do you manage that?
I think it's at a point where the stress in the household is at an all-time high, and both people know. It's nobody walks around the house not knowing that there's tension or stress or bills or kids or activities or whatever the case may be. But I think there's a lot of grace that I give to my husband, knowing that he works very hard, and I know that he's doing everything possible to make our lives better. So I give him a lot of grace because I have understanding in that. However, when it gets to a point where that time at home starts to get hindered, with, things at work that could be pushed the next day or extracurricular activities that can wait, because we haven't spent that time together as a family or as a couple, then that's when I have to say something. And I don't necessarily think it's interjecting my opinion. It's actually just stating the fact that, the quality time that you're spending at work is taken away from my quality time at home. Like I said, you really have to dedicate time to your family and to your household. When you don't do that, then the other person is just going to be longing for it, which is going to cause a fight all the time. So, as long as I know that I have a scheduled, dedicated time with my husband, and it doesn't have to be, on Thursday at 6 p.m., at this time, I just know that, for instance, our weekend. So my Saturday night and my Sunday afternoon are dedicated to husband, and his time is dedicated to me. We know that, so that's what I look forward to. So even though we may have a, rough work week where I don't see him as much, I know that I have that time coming up on the weekend. However, if we get to the weekend and he starts planning other things in its place, that's when I'm going to interject.
So I got a quick question.
Not necessarily my opinion, but the truth.
So what if you're in that situation, with your partner, and to where it's like you feel like there's not enough time as far as in being together, and you say something, but your partner doesn't believe that is the case. They say basically we do spend time, but it's not really you and your partner time. It's like all of the family time. So, and you express that, and then, you kind of get turned down, or you get told that that's not the case. How do you quite handle that?
FTK.
Well, that's a conversation that you still have to have. Like I said, you have to dedicate time to each person. So, we have family time, but I also expect time with my husband. So if he thinks that us sitting together with the kids watching a movie is his dedicated time for me, then he's wrong. And I'll let him know that, because, these kids weren't here always. So, there has to be time that I connect with him, just on an intellectual level, just on a more intimate level. So, you got to make it clear. And sometimes people don't want to listen. And they go on and say, hey, there's no problem. We spend time as a family together. That's all I need. Well, if I'm saying that, that's not all I need, then guess what? You guys are going to come to a head, and it's going to be ugly. So I was at that point in my marriage at one time, earlier on, one part didn't listen to the other part. And,
I was just about to say, you got a good husband.
When I thought that there was an issue and the other person didn't, there was times of silence, there was times of fighting, and, we actually came together and decided that that's not the type of marriage we want to have. So, you have to talk. You have to communicate. You really just have to, speak your piece. I'm respectful. I want to be heard. I want to hear what he has to say, but
that is
gotta
really
talk.
good. I'm glad you guys worked that out.
Hey, Jessica.
Professor has something to say.
Hey, about time. Thank you, Jessica. I have two questions for you, but let me just go over something that you said. You said your husband's a hardworking man, right? And he does everything in his power to make sure that you have the life you want. Correct? Is that correct, Jessica?
Uh-huh.
So I just want to make sure I got this right. So your husband is a good man. He provides, and he does everything in his power to make sure you have the life you want, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So my question to you is, rather than giving him grace, why wouldn't you give him support? Because grace is a sense of forgiveness, in a sense, giving you a timeline to correct a behavior that's not favorable. But hold on. Let me finish my question, please. Thank you, Jessica. You're on the podcast.
Please don't interrupt.
So because we gave you 19 minutes, give us a second.
She was going in.
So my question is very, very easy, Jessica. Very, very easy. If he's all these things that you said he is, why would you give him grace rather than support? That's my question. Very easy. Bigly.
Do you not think that grace is support?
Absolutely not. Grace is tolerance.
You don't.
Grace is tolerance.
That's true.
Support is saying, I understand what you're doing. Listen, can I go deep?
Go deep.
Can I go deep?
Like
Go
Jacques
deep.
Cousteau.
Thank you. Grace is tolerance for a behavior. Support is saying, I understand. What can I do to accommodate it while you do this good deed that you do for us? Do you have anything to say about that?
Teach.
Yeah, so we have two different definitions of what grace and support look like.
Enlighten
So
me.
for my household, for me and my relationship, when I express grace to my husband and he expresses grace to me, that's support. Because if we didn't support each other, we would not be giving each other grace. So just as I say that I give him grace, that doesn't mean I don't give him support. I think I was very clear when I mentioned that if he works all week, I don't really say much. I know what he's doing for this household. I expect a portion, 1/7 of his week, to be dedicated to me. I don't think that's asking a lot, and it doesn't mean that I'm not supporting him the rest of that time, 6/7 of that time.
Hey, Jessica.
So,
Jessica, quick question here.
I'm kind of
Yeah,
trying to figure out what you're.
Quick question. So, when you talk about in the beginning of the podcast, we were talking a little bit more about alignment and expectations and meeting goals and your partner and you being on the same page of meeting a goal. And then you mentioned something about extracurricular activities or different activities during that time. What if that activity on Saturday or Sunday afternoon was tied to the goal?
It's okay.
Hello? If it was tied to the if your husband not spending that time on Saturdays and Sundays, but spend it on attaining the goal there was an expectation that was agreed upon to meet a certain goal, would you still feel that there would be an issue or a rift?
No. Absolutely, I would still extend grace. That's the beauty of a marriage, of a healthy marriage, right? You're in a partnership, and there has to be some give and take. Whereas we have our expectation of, I get my dedicated time on the weekend when things arise. What did I say before? You got to talk. You have to communicate. And so if you communicate that to me, and it's a part of our plan to build our children up or build our future, sure, go with it. It's not. It's more of an exception, right? It's not the rule. So yeah, that's when you express, grace. Professor, support.
Okay.
Okay.
Excuse me. I got a quick question. Can you dig in the box and grab a book back for me real quick? because I'm about to issue some shit out real quick.
Definitely be something that
So Jessica, I'm a little
it
confused.
would definitely be something that it would be a conversation between me and my husband. You know, it couldn't be like every single time, but you know, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about every once in a while. We're talking about the exceptions.
Jessica, so let's revisit this grace thing, okay? So, according to my understanding, grace is tolerance, right? Now, you just said that after this man has poured out everything all week long, you're tolerant of that behavior, and you still expect something in return. Pause. Support is saying, I understand what you're doing. I know you're depleted. Let me replenish you with no expectation. That is what support is. Support is saying, I offer you in exchange of your depletion, replenishment. And I understand. Grace is saying, I'm tolerant of your behavior. However, I still expect something in return. There's a big difference. This man has poured out all week to give you the life that you've wanted. You've tolerated the behaviors for some reason. And then at the end of the week, you have an expectation. The man is depleted, okay? Now, support is... Hold on, Jessica. We give you 11 more minutes. We gave you 11 more minutes.
I'm trying to you said price.
Support is this.
I mean,
support.
I'm not trying to interrupt.
Support is something.
What you're saying.
Listen, if support is this, if I know you're depleted in a certain area, I am there to replenish you, as if you never lost anything. When a man is grinding every week all day long for his family, he comes home empty, and then the expectation, due to your tolerance or per se your grace, is that I'm going to give you a couple minutes to diffuse, and then my expectation is that you give me something in return of your grace, quid pro quo. Support is saying, honey, I understand. Hold on. Now you got 3 more minutes. Support is saying that I understand what you're doing for our family, and because of that, let me replenish what has been depleted. I'm not asking you to give me anything. Honey, what can I give you to refill your cup so that you can continue to provide for us the life that you said you wanted? That's the difference. That's the difference. So when we talk about support and opinion and grace and all that kind of stuff, what a man really needs when he's out there doing everything in his power for his family is to be replenished and poured back into, because he gave the world everything he's got in order to give you everything that you want. It's a difference. But if you give me grace and if you're tolerating me providing for you, if you're tolerating me giving you everything that you want, and then you still have an expectation, then that means I'm going further and further in the negative.
So basically you're saying you should have grace and support.
No. You
Just
have
support.
Support is saying, I know that you're empty. I'm going to, listen, there's no need to give that man grace, because he's giving you the life that you want in exchange for him being empty.
So here's where it gets tricky. Is because when you say the life that you want, that has to come with some alignment and expectation.
Price and cost.
Well, no. What I'll say is this: it's like you have to be specific about what you want.
We said
if what you want is more of that time, and that's the agreement in the plan.
You'll take away something.
Then something's got to be taken away.
That is true.
That's being provided.
Balance.
That's true.
That's what we're talking about with the balance. So,
even exchange.
Right. Go ahead, Jessica.
So I need to go back and address the professor on what his definitions of grace
We'll give you 2
and
minutes.
support are, because at first he told me, said support was expecting something in return. Then he switched it around. He may have got confused. But then he said grace was quid pro quo, getting something in return. So I'm not sure exactly which one he means as getting back in return, but I'm going to read something to you, Professor. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I've been ready. Let's get it. Let's go.
Teach the teacher.
Let's go.
Okay.
Lesson for a lesson.
Train the trainer. Let's go.
So the Webster Dictionary definition of grace, and it's surprisingly, Professor, there's no tolerance anywhere in this, but I'll read this to you, okay? It says simple elegance or refinement. It says courteous goodwill, to do honor and give credit to by one's presence. Now, I'm going to take you to the Christian biblical version of grace, and I'm going to read this to you. the love and mercy given to us by God because God desires to have it, not necessarily because of anything we have done to earn it. So, see, that's what grace means in my house. It means that I'm giving my husband all the honor, all of the mercy, the credit given, not because of anything, he's necessarily done to earn it, but because I have an appreciation for him, and everything else that he's doing is just the cherry on the cake.
Well,
So
I guess
I give my husband grace, and in my household, that's support.
See,
So-
hold
so-
on, hold on. Give me a
Hold on.
second. Because like this is,
That's
it
the
depends on where
So
you
that
look for
means-
that definition at. Because you looked in Webster, I'm looking in Merriam. Merriam says a total different definition than what you have for grace. Because I'm looking in the Merriam, it's like approval for, mercy, pardon, privilege, reprieve. It's saying things like that. And then when I look for the spiritual meaning of grace, and I'm just looking this up.
Pass
and
me the
I
ball,
find
L. Will.
Well,
grace is a
pass me the
spiritual
ball.
gift. Hold
Pass
on.
me the
Grace
ball.
is a
Hold on,
spiritual
Professor.
gift
So
that
my
involves
point-
love and mercy given to others,
with
even
my
when we
point-
feel they don't
Deserve it.
Yeah,
Even
so-
when we feel they don't deserve it.
So here's where it boils
Basically,
down
I'm
to.
gonna
It's
deal
like,
with your bullshit.
yeah, listen. So when
this-
Grace, hold on, Jessica. So Grace is, what God has.
It's tolerance.
God gives us grace because we can't earn anything. It's not. There's nothing that we can
So
do.
is it tolerance, JB?
to acquire anything in that realm. So he's given us something that we don't deserve. So when you
Tolerance
said,
for lack. It's a tolerance for lack.
well, yeah, I guess you could look
Come
at
on,
it. and say,
JB.
wait,
It's a tolerance for
here,
lack.
Semantics.
Listen, at the end of the day, here's what it is.
I'm gonna deal
If
with
you
your
want to
bullshit.
if you want to say grace is part of being supportive, then that's what it is. So grace may be a component of being
Yeah.
supportive.
Okay. Let me read this.
Because we
That's not what grace is.
So,
At the
hold on. Let me, Jessica. Let me read this, please. And you tell me if this means being supportive. Grace is a spiritual gift that involves love and mercy given to others, even when we feel they don't deserve it. So, if a man is doing what he's supposed to do, why would you give him something even though you feel he doesn't deserve it? Because obviously, if he's doing what he's supposed to do, he deserves love. That's not support. Support is saying, I understand.
How are you
Hold
defining?
on, listen. I'll give you an example. I give you an example. I give you an example, Jessica. I'm sorry. I give you an example. Don't pay your credit card on time, right? Break the rule. They have a tolerance.
Grace period.
It's called a grace period. Yep. Okay, you didn't do what you're supposed to do. We're going to give you a few more days. This man is doing what he's supposed to do. I'm going to tell you what support is. When my team is short, I am to replenish to accommodate for the lack, meaning that they are short, so I'm filling in the gap to make it complete. That is support. It's a difference.
I like that.
He deserves.
I see what you're saying.
Yes,
Professor.
I like that. Thank you, JB. Thank you.
It is different.
It
is different.
On this call, or do you want to talking to each other?
What's that?
Do you guys want me to speak on this call, or you just want to continue talking to each other?
I mean, you gotta get. Everybody has to get a chance to speak.
Yeah,
is what we're saying.
this ain't just your show, okay?
Yeah, I've been 23 minutes in it.
I mean, I haven't gotten a chance to say much. Every time I try to say something, I get cut off by the
It's
professor.
just taking too long. Go ahead though. Go ahead though, Jessica. Just let's make it quick, okay?
The floor is
Yeah,
yours.
thank you, D. I hope I don't take too long for you here.
I'll let you know.
But yeah, so that's my whole point behind grace. That's my whole point behind grace, because like I said at the very beginning, if my husband is going out and he's gone away from the home and yet he's working and doing things for the family, no matter what it is, it's like, I'm still missing my other half. I'm missing, a part of me, and I understand that. So by the time we get to our time, all the rest of the week, that's grace. Because guess what? This is not a single working household. We are both putting in the same amount of effort, and sometimes one does more and sometimes the other one does more, but, we have an understanding. We have enough grace that we give each other where we're like, we haven't spent a lot of time this week. We've been, buried in work and doing what we need to do. But, we need to dedicate our time to each other, and if that doesn't happen, like JB, you said, if something comes up, if there's an exception, then that's even where grace steps in right there. I support my husband enough to show him grace even when I can't spend my time with him.
All right, I hear you. So just to flip it a little bit. So we talk about, your time with your husband. How about the husband time to himself? Maybe with his boys or doing
what?
Where does the time to ourself, where does the husband time to ourself fit in? We talk about going to work and dedicating this day, these hours to you, but we haven't spoke about dedicating time to ourselves. What if we want to go watch the game or go golfing or do whatever we
On the
enjoy
flip
doing.
side, you want to have a girls' night, or you want to
Same
have
thing.
just,
Right.
where does that fit into play?
Because that's still part of work life. That's
That's
life.
still
That's
the
still
balance.
life balance.
That's life.
That's not work life, but that's one of the exceptions, right? So
What?
It's
No,
life.
We're talking about life.
We're talking about life. Just
work
life.
and life balance, because
Okay.
having some
Sorry, he said work. He said
self-care
work life. So,
self-care is part of life,
Yeah, because we just
Yeah.
can't go to work and be around y'all all the time. You know what I'm saying?
we don't want y'all around us all the time.
I'm just saying,
I
based,
support
based,
that.
based on the conversation.
I didn't realize that. That's different. Wow.
I support that.
I feel
support it
left out now.
100%.
I want to be.
But for me,
Felt
going
like
out
my
with
presence is needed.
But for me, going out with his boys is again another exception. It doesn't happen every night. So, I'm not going to sit there and get pissed off because, he's worked real hard over the weekend and he's like, and he communicates, he talks to me and says, I want to go do this. I don't care. You're an adult. You work hard. You deserve to spend your time with your friends. But I know that when you come home, I get your full attention. So
Even
I'm
if
okay
he's
with
depleted.
that.
Even if
Yeah,
he's depleted. Even if he's depleted.
What if we don't have it to give to you? Sometimes I'll be
That's
honest.
his agreement. That's his agreement with me.
Some,
I'm
listen,
demanding him to do.
Listen.
That's his
Listen.
agreement
Whoa,
with me.
whoa,
Hey.
If he's depleted and
Oh,
Hold on.
Oh,
Hold on.
no.
You
Oh,
said,
let D go. Because he's confused.
I'm sorry.
We're all confused.
Can you repeat that again? Jessica.
what do you need me to repeat?
Something about, you said that's, you said as long as he go out with his boys, when he come home, he give you his full attention. But what if he's tired?
at that point, there ain't gonna be no energy left.
There's no energy left. Then what? Are you pissed?
Is that where Grace is stepping
what
in?
are you thinking we're going to have? What are you thinking that I want my husband to do? Even if it's just having a short conversation, we don't get that during the week.
You got
So if I have a couple of minutes to occupy his time, that's the whole part of the grace thing. It's like it's never going to look the same, but you know that there's going to be a time that's dedicated to you. It may be an hour. It may be at dinner. It may be a couple of sentences, but you know that at some point, you guys are going to connect at some level. There's no, scale. There's no amount of time. There's no clock running. That's an agreement that I have with my
yeah.
husband.
I understand what you're saying.
And if he comes home, and he's depleted,
All right.
and if he comes home and he's depleted,
Oh,
then
Jessica.
I'm not going to sit there and say, now you spend your time with me. Like I said, I got the next day.
And that's what I want to hear. So basically,
The next day you fill his cup up.
the next day you fill his cup up, right?
Overfloweth his cup.
It runneth over.
It
There
runneth.
it is.
I wanted to runneth and poureth
See,
over.
I knew you had it in you, girl. Go ahead, girl.
Yeah,
The
after
next
29
day-
minutes, we got
Damn, about time you said the right answer.
Yeah.
Well,
no right or wrong answer, D.
let's flip it though, Jessica. Do you feel like you are ever depleted and you need to be have your cup fill it up,
Run it over.
Poureth into.
pour it into?
Thy runneth.
Listen,
That runneth
we
over.
don't have enough time to talk about how depleted I am.
But
That's a whole other podcast.
but do you
and I
feel
would
some
need
of
more
the
women to support?
But do you feel some of the things you do? Fuck it. Is your duty as a wife and a mother?
Absolutely. I feel
As a wife and a mother.
Yeah.
Okay. And
absolutely.
all right. And some of the things you do.
That's part of the social contract.
But you still get depleted.
I agree.
Get depleted.
I agree.
Because if you're doing everything that you possibly can as a wife, a mother, and you're still a provider, and nobody's pouring into you and showing you grace, or sorry, professor, support.
Get it right.
Then yeah, it gets hard sometimes.
She learned something
It gets rough, and it's a lonely place.
Not quite sure.
It's definitely a lonely place
I
to
agree.
be in. So
I agree with that.
You know, it has to go both.
It goes both ways.
Yeah, I think that
I'm with you.
Tying into the support thing, and I think the analogy that you made, Professor, is right about filling the gap. Filling the gap, when that's part of support. So when you even in the workplace, when you say you support your team or you do this or you do that, you're filling the gap where there's a responsibility or there's a need that needs to be met. That person is, for one reason or another, not capable of fulfilling that need. You step in there and you fulfill that need.
And whether it's replenishing a husband or the flip side, your husband is like, hey, you know what, babe? You go sit down tonight. I'm gonna take care of the dishes, or I'm gonna cook the dinner, or I'm gonna
buy you a dress, and we're gonna go out.
We'll go out. That's true. Yeah, I'm gonna buy you a dress, and I got dinner. Good call, yeah, Will.
Man.
I'm gonna go out.
Got reservations
with a dress with some heels, with some
nice heels,
some nice heels,
some pumps,
stilettos, in the club.
Shoulders out.
Low back.
Low back.
Said a low back.
Yeah, right before the crack.
With that shit feeling real tight,
Yeah, like right before you get to that.
Hey, I'm getting geeky. I'm ready to go home.
Is that grace or is that support?
Hey, I'm gonna support that shit.
And that's right. I was gonna say that ain't nothing but support.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sorry, Jessica.
We apologize.
Look, we had a little man moment right there.
So I have a question though. So I'm gonna take it back for a second. We're gonna talk about tolerance.
Okay.
So what do you do in an instance when you, or just say your spouse, feels like they're just being tolerated? How do you fix that?
You broke up a little bit.
I said, what do you do in an instance when you just say per se, or just say your spouse feels like they're being just tolerated? What are your thoughts on fixing that or trying to make that better?
Well, I feel like if my spouse feels that he's just being tolerated, that's up to him to fix it, not me.
Mm.
Because at that point, I've gone past understanding, Jessica, to you get in where you fit in.
Damn.
Jessica, just to make sure I'm clear on what you said, could you repeat that?
She said, "Fuck you." Basically what she said.
Oh, what she said?
I don't know how. I don't think you need a dictionary for that.
Yeah, she said, "I'm tired."
I mean, JB, I knew I heard that.
I'm tired.
I heard like Big Sean playing in the background. I don't fuck with
you. That's what it is.
Fuck you.
So it's on Jessica. It's on him, huh?
I have a very high tolerance for, I support my husband, to the end of the earth. And, I will deplete myself for him for, so long. But if we get to a point where that's, I'm not getting poured back into, then yeah, I mean, he probably will just feel tolerated. And I'm going to just, go on my merry way until he fixes it, because there's only so much I can do if I'm already, doing everything else to make him feel, appreciated, supported, giving him grace, all that things, but nothing coming back to me.
Doesn't that
there has to be some reciprocation.
But doesn't go both ways. If he's feeling tolerated, how are you feeling then? And how are you acting like that going to fix the problem?
Oh, it's not. But if you're the person that's always doing the the pouring into and supporting, but nobody else is doing that back. I mean, what do you expect to happen with that person? I mean, what are you expecting? You have to give some too. You have to be willing to fix the issue too. You just can't be looking for the other person. I mean, right?
Yeah.
That's what a marriage is. It's a partnership.
It's partnership.
You both have to.
You can't ride them like a mule.
Yeah, you both
throw
have
them off to the side of the road.
He might ask to be rode like a mule.
Roll like a mule.
Sometimes it ain't wrong to be, it's too bad to be wrong.
Sorry, Jessica.
Sorry, we talking about riding this shit.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Oh, hold on. Hey, Jessica, you know about that shit, huh?
Hey, Jessica, I got a question for you.
I please.
Hey, Jessica, I got a question for you.
Oh my God.
This is the professor. Are you there?
Professor.
I'm going to say a word, and you tell me what you think it means. Are you ready to play this game?
Do.
Let me know when you're ready.
I like this. I feel.
Hello?
Hey, listen,
Sure.
listen. You need to sit up and put your phone to your mouth, okay?
Okay.
Is it on speaker?
Are you ready to
something?
play the game?
That's the first part of the game. Put the phone to your mouth.
Are you ready? Hello?
I say yes.
Okay.
she's ready.
Okay. The word, just
Sure.
tell me what you think it means in your words. The word is helpmate. And you can answer it anytime you're ready.
She's probably gonna Google it first.
Yeah, she's probably going to Google it.
Yeah.
Hey Siri.
Hey,
Siri, helpmate.
I'm Googling it.
Yeah, I figured you was.
Tell me what that means to you.
I think.
Just a moment.
You heard Google. You heard Siri.
Siri is all over it.
You should at least turn your volume down.
I don't use Siri.
We just heard it.
But anyway, I think a helpmate just means a dual partnership in your marriage. And it means that, you have a partnership with one another, and everything that you want done for you, you do for your partner to build upon your life together. That's a helpmate.
So do you
When
believe?
you see that one person is... Go ahead.
Do you believe in the word helpmate? Is that something that applies to your relationship with your husband?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And define in what way? Could you just describe that?
Because for me, with my definition, of a partnership, I believe that when I'm depleted, for the most part, my husband pours into me so that I could be a better me for all of us,
That's a
for
great
him,
man.
for our family. And I do the same.
It's a great
And I
man.
do the same for him. So,
Back to her again.
that comes at so many levels. It's emotional, physical, financial, it's all support at all levels. So, I truly believe in the meaning of helpmate, because I wouldn't have the marriage that I've had for 11 years tomorrow with my husband if I didn't feel like, we were in a solid partnership.
Well, congratulations on that.
So I got a question.
Yeah, congratulations, Jessica.
It takes a lot of work and dedication.
11 years.
to get to
Congrats
11 years.
on 11 years.
So-
I can only imagine the guy you're with. And
So Jessica,
Stand-up guy.
Stand-up guy.
So
It's
Jessica,
been a lot of hard times.
yeah, but you got through and you dealt with it. So,
So
everything's-
Some
Jessica-
of those hard times were worth it.
yeah,
So, Jessica,
that's what made you better.
so
He,
just
he
It's
made
just-
you a better. He made you a better you. Believe it
That's
or not.
right. It's just like working out. Sometimes you got to tear muscle down to build it back up.
Yeah, and those fibers tear. Put some protein. They
That's
build back
right.
up faster.
All that protein.
Enjoy all that protein. Hey, they say on a diet, never too much protein. Every couple hours.
I'm on a low protein diet this weekend.
No,
that shit messed up,
that
girl.
sucks. That's-
Hope I'm not. I'm sorry.
The professor had a question.
Yeah, I know you do. Go ahead, Professor.
You've created a maze in my brain.
A maze.
I'm gonna be honest.
A maze in your brain.
I mean, she going all kind of ways.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Jessica. If we were to put you on the stand, you would be convicted because I'm trying to figure out the grace.
Of what? Of
You
love?
have failed to distinguish the difference between grace, support,
We back on grace and support.
and love because I don't understand it. Every time you talk about grace,
Oh, there's three now.
How we get
Grace,
from
support, and love?
protein to
Love
grace?
was just at it. It was just at it. That's brand new.
That's brand new.
and like I said, when our timer expired and you were past the 30-minute mark and talking, we were trying to figure out. You kept reverting back.
You let me call.
Hey, this is our podcast. You can't talk like that on our shit.
So
Can't talk like that on our
Yeah, you can see, girl.
so I gave you distinct definitions of what I believe those different things are.
The key thing you said on there was, I believe.
Right. So
That's true.
you reverted
There's
back
a lot
to.
of things I believe, Professor.
So what do you believe, Jessica?
She really wants you to answer that question. What she really believes?
She believes in God.
Hey, can you keep it under 2 minutes?
She said grace, support, and love.
And protein.
But I expect him to be available. But I'm giving him grace, which he don't deserve.
And after he get out
I'm
kicking with his
confused.
friends, he come home at 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah, he gonna
I
give
need
me
to talk to
every
him for an hour or two.
Yeah.
Better wake up and start talking.
I don't
Got
care.
time for that shit, girl.
I don't care nothing. I don't care nothing about his riboflavins.
Eat this chicken I brought to you.
Yes,
and go to
eat your
sleep.
protein.
That's
I don't
big.
care nothing
Hey,
about your riboflavins.
That's the beauty.
That's support.
Hey, that's the
Go
beauty
out with
of
your
a marriage.
boys.
That's the
Come
beauty
back
of a
with
marriage.
some
Hey, Jess,
food.
listen.
Yeah.
Go out with your boys. If we bring food back home,
That's support.
that's support. And
Yeah, clap on that.
And after we eat that food,
In the car,
no. I'm bringing food back home to the wife.
Yeah, bring
man.
it back on her.
bringing a receipt.
And then I'm coming back home. I'm bringing food back home.
Yeah, I'm going home, bud.
Happy. I'm going home.
Well, that's not support, Professor.
And then come
It
home.
is support because I need her to pay the fucking bill.
You need who to pay the bill?
My wife.
Your wife. So you bring her the receipt.
Bring her a receipt.
That means
Support.
Hey,
Support.
hey, Professor.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
If
God.
we gonna get on definitions, if you had a receipt, that means the bill already been paid.
Hold on. So, hold on. Reimbursement. Pause. So, I will
Reimbursement.
take grace. Give me 2 more days, honey.
Because
I know one thing.
Because I used that card you didn't want me to use because I was drunk.
Yeah,
But Jessica,
I know about
really you
those cards.
really confused us all. You did a great job at that, by the way.
not all.
No.
I think it was just you.
I'm good, brother.
I'm very aware.
Yeah,
You're woke.
I'm woke.
You're woke.
I'm woke, and I ain't sleep.
hey, we know you.
And ain't nobody
That's
slave.
the whole thing. That's the thing, Professor.
Hold on.
That's the thing, Professor.
Let's go to war.
That's what I'm talking
It ain't too
about.
late to go to war. It's not too late to go to war.
Marriage is
It's not too late to
black
go
and
to.
white.
It's not too late to go to war.
Marriage
That is
not-
true.
Marriage is not black
Expound.
and white.
Expound.
I don't know
Let's
what
go.
your
Let's get it.
marriage looks
Expound.
like, but
Expound.
my marriage,
It's
but my
all
marriage
degrees of
has
gray.
lots of
It sounds like your
side
husband got a lot of stuff he
opinions.
got to deserve to do because you talk about
Yes.
grace.
You sound like you expect a lot of shit.
Yeah, like that motherfucker
doesn't
come
make
home
any
0 and he got to give you 10 more.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you expect all this stuff.
And he comes home depleted.
He been working all day.
Yeah.
Like you need to maybe I don't know support a little more.
Yeah, I like the word support. Do you know? I like the word support.
Jessica,
Yeah.
when you agree, like, do you agree?
Like, yeah, you may expect. Go ahead.
Do you agree that you?
You got
I
it,
mean,
Dave.
reality,
You
you
got
might be expecting a whole lot though.
Yeah, and you're not pouring nothing back in. You never once
Oh, no.
said, I got to pour into
No,
this
'cause
man
I was very
I'm his
clear.
helpmate.
I was very clear that now. Are you Jessica? Are you Jessica, Mr. Professor? Are you gonna answer for me?
No, Jessica, you've already answered.
Okay, I'm ready.
You've given that
All
man
right,
more
so-
grace than he needed.
So yeah, so I don't feel like I.
Amazing
Grace. Like I have said,
Sweet.
so like I said earlier, it could be just a couple of sentences or a short conversation. You know, that's all. You know, that's all I need. You know, because I understand that if I can't connect to my husband, on a
Jessica,
deeper level,
you did it
I just
again.
need something.
Jessica, you did it again. All I need. The man is depleted. Support replenishes what has been lost. Grace forgives something that has not deserved.
I got a question. Okay,
Sheesh.
when you say support and
What
replenish,
kind of husband doesn't want to speak to his wife when he gets home? What
Didn't
kind
say
of
that.
husband?
There you go. Didn't say that.
hold on.
You keep saying,
That's what we're talking
Professor, I got a
about.
question.
Hold on.
Go, let's
Hold
get
on.
it.
D got a
Let's go.
question. D got a
Good
question.
job.
Go get it. Go get it.
So, Professor, you mentioned support, replenish.
Yeah.
Give me some. When you say support,
Yeah.
replenish, what should you expect? Give me an example.
Okay.
Yeah, give me an example of support.
I love you guys. I love you guys.
Because
Grace.
Let
Okay,
the word,
No. We don't need
No,
no
not
grace.
Grace.
Talk about
Leave
grace.
Grace.
We're
Leave
done
Grace
with
alone.
grace.
What
We're talking
you
about
feel
support.
when you
Support
say-
is this. Go. Honey,
Example.
you are a great provider. I know that your days are long.
Words of affirmation.
I am not going to put any pressure on you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have your bath water ready. I'm going to have your dinner ready. And I'm going to give you time to think, a moment to think.
So you want action? Because you
It's called evidence. Love is evidence. Love is
Trust me.
evidence. Love
you
is
don't-
evidence.
She laughing.
But
Damn.
you don't want all those words.
Oh,
You
okay.
you do not want her to say all those damn words.
No. I want her action.
I'll be
I
damned.
think in his mind,
I'm
he's
translating.
listening to
I'm
like,
translating.
I'll
Just
tell you
do it.
what.
D,
When I
I'm
come
translating.
home,
I'm translating.
So,
and I'm
honey,
depleted.
so-
I know
I don't
that.
want to listen to all that.
Look,
Yeah, I want all that shit.
Hold
man.
on. Pause.
So you put action to
Listen,
words, correct?
women who really support, they're about that life. They're not gonna tell you much.
I'm
They don't have
gonna
ready.
tell you support in a
Listen, they're
minute,
gonna tell you when you get here, your bath water's ready. Okay, you take a bath. Listen, I'm gonna give you a moment because I know you had a long week. I'm not gonna put more on you right now. When you're ready, you come see me. But I love you and your food's ready. Bye bye.
So here's
That's support.
your marriage. That's not mine.
here's support for me. Rough week, whatever it is, come home. It depends on the week, but just know,
Yes, exactly, D.
It- it-
exactly.
it-
It,
it
depends.
depends
It's
on
no-
week.
it doesn't look the same.
because it ain't black and white. But I tell you,
Yes.
a rough week, my wife would know. She know how day is because we talk throughout the day. Okay.
D, can I ask you a question?
hold on, let him
No.
finish. Let him finish though. Let him
Professor,
finish.
Professor,
Once
he
I
ain't even
finish.
he ain't
He
even
already
said
trapped
nothing
himself. He
yet.
trapped himself already.
I assume we all talk to our wives throughout
trapped
the day,
himself.
okay? So they know how our day is. So when we get home, if they're supportive, they know us. They already know how to react. You know, for instance, when I come home, rough day, I may go in bed and lay in bed for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. She leave me alone because she understands she know my day,
Time.
how my day
Absolutely.
went. But you know what? All she may do. You know, I love chicken and fish. She had my favorite meal there. You know what I'm saying? She'll how I walk in.
So she's giving.
The house smell like
She's giving.
Fabuloso.
I like
You know?
Fabuloso.
I love that. It's cheap too.
Fabuloso.
But what I'm saying is that I think each individual marriage support is different.
Has its
you know?
own different types
And
of
see, I think
does.
that's
It
the
does,
thing
man.
to put
It
a
does.
capstone on it. Everybody's marriage is going to be different.
Yeah, everybody's
and,
different,
and,
man.
and your partner is your partner. I mean, it's your partner is supposed to, and you say helpmate, it's your helpmate. It ain't D's helpmate. It ain't Ill Will's helpmate. It ain't your helpmate.
I'm passing
They
out
got
book
it. They
bags.
got it. Your helpmate. It's got it's a puzzle piece. You guys
It's,
got to
it's,
fit each
yeah,
other's
it's
puzzle.
specific to the certain person. You're
It
right.
is.
It's like a
Pause.
puzzle
It
piece.
is.
Right.
Pause,
some
pause.
some people aren't going to need as much support as others.
Pause.
And
And some people may need a lot of support.
and not talking
Pause.
is not support.
If
Yeah,
I
I see who needs more support.
if I don't pay my credit card bill on time, the
Nigga, we ain't credit cards.
Listen, let
we
me
human
finish.
beings.
Let me finish. Let me finish, because like again, I'm had to see what's going to happen. I always give you
You
guys.
gotta displace some of this
Listen,
shit.
listen,
Hold
listen.
Oh, displace
The beams.
We going
the
back to that
beams.
to the beams.
Listen to me.
Grace and
If you
displacement.
miss your credit card payment that's due on a certain date,
You're late.
they give you grace.
No, you don't. You're
They
late.
do. There's a grace period. No, you're not.
Not on a credit card.
Not on a credit card.
on
no.
your mortgage it is, but not on a credit card.
I have a grace period on mine.
No, you don't.
Well, I will say
swear to
this to
God I
speak to
do.
his to speak to what he's
I
saying.
swear I
can
do.
like I've been with
I
like
have
one
a
of my
gr-
banks for so long that a credit card company with.
I
I have been
have
late
a
once or
grace-
twice before, and they said
So-
you always pay on time.
So
we
a
got
grace
you.
period
But you
is saying-
called them.
Listen to me.
You called them.
Oh my
They
God.
do not automatically give
They
you
ain't
grace.
just gonna say, "Hey,
Trust
we
me.
noticed that you missed this
Trust
payment."
me, man.
Grace period is saying that you owe
Go
me
ahead and wait
something.
another 5
Cards
days.
You owe me
ain't
something.
No damn grace period, man.
You
On
let
your
me finish?
mortgage is a grace
Are you
period.
let me prove my point?
Go ahead, brother.
What's your point?
A grace period says
I know them bills.
you owe me something, and even though you don't deserve credit for what you owe me, I'm going to go ahead and extend it, but I still want what you owe me. Support is saying, I know that you are depleted. let me fill in the gap for that.
The credit card's not going to support
You can't trap me,
but
D.
since you put it like that,
I'm on the case. I'm on the case. I'm on the case. Yeah, you do. Because even though he's depleted, you still have an expectation. You have said I more than you have said more. You have said
you don't know my marriage.
I don't. But what I do know is you've said I several times.
You don't know my marriage.
You're right. I don't. But what I do know is you've said I several times.
Aren't you? But you were asking me questions, so I have to speak for
You have
myself.
said I several times. It's a relationship is a partnership. It's a partnership.
He want to hear some wheeze. He want to hear some wheeze is what he's saying.
We. He. You said I.
But we talked about that. We talked about when I'm referring to myself, I'm I. But when I refer to help me, I refer
as
to
far as we know, you have been talking about yourself the whole time.
Pull something out of your ass. You're trying to pull something out of your
going
ass.
in on the professor.
Listen, Jessica, let's go to war.
Yeah,
I'm the professor. We can go to war. Jessica, we can go to war. We got plenty of time left.
You're not a very good professor.
We got plenty of time left.
Yeah, we really got that much time, man.
Actually, we don't have enough time for a war.
They've saved you. They've saved you.
So
I done broke it down to you several times.
They did not save me.
Ill will.
You broke down your version of your marriage and what you think.
You gave me a generic view.
That's not my life. I want to be happy.
You
want to
give your husband who deserves everything something he doesn't deserve.
I'm good with that.
Grace is saying he's not deserving,
if
but you say he is deserving. That's a contradiction. Your love is a contradiction to your husband. Your love is a contradiction. Your love is a contradiction.
I'll tell you this. I need grace.
Your love is a contradiction. Your love is a contradiction.
No. If it was a contradiction, then he wouldn't be here for 11 years tomorrow.
Jessica,
you damn
thank
right.
you for calling.
You have been wonderful.
Very mean
I
words.
appreciate you for challenging a professor. It's always a beautiful thing to make him go deep and go off. We truly appreciate you. Going on. He says.
All right. Y'all start rubbing the back of Professor. Y'all know he need that extra love.
I want support. I don't want grace. I want support.
Jessica.
Here's something to leave you black in thought. Whether it's grace or support, I mean, things that we need to think about with our partners. Words. Be kind and gentle in what you say and how you say it. Look for needs and opportunities. Simple, everyday kindness and actions often help in great ways. Forgive, be there, learn to ask for forgiveness, and watch the way you speak.
DJ Payne 1.
You know I'm flawed, but you love me anyway. A lot of times I'm so wrong, but you love me anyway. Love me anyway. That's why you're my buddy.
Thank you for listening to this episode, and we want you to come back for more. If you like what you heard, please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts from. We're on all the major networks: Apple, Google, TuneIn, Spotify, and many more. Check out our social media, and please like, follow, and comment on Facebook, Black in Thought, Instagram, Black in Thought Podcast, and Twitter, Black in Thought Podcast. Please subscribe, share, and once again, thank you for listening.
You know I'm flawed, but you love me anyway. A lot of times I'm so wrong, but you love me anyway. That's why you're my